Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with the boys, PD and Cal. Say what's up, boys.
Ready to rock.
Yeah.
Hey, today D23 is on hot. Everything's being dropped right now. Today we're going to be discussing that old classic, Werewolf by Night. Why the hell are they doing it? But hey, shoot it, Selector. Let's talk about
Wait
it.
a second. So what is D23? What does that mean?
D23 is Disney's own Comic-Con. This is where they do their own shows. They go over it. They do Disney stuff, Disney Plus stuff, Marvel, Pixar. They do all that stuff there. So instead of going to San Diego or New York Comic Con, they're like, hey, why can't we make money with people coming to our own parks? So that's what they're doing. So
Wow.
kind of slick.
Really low rent.
Not low rent. It's actually
There's a con that you're supposed to go to.
no. There's no supposed to go
I'm
to.
trying to copy off of. Then they put it online, right? Here we
They're
go.
like, yo, we got all this content. And look, D23 dropped mad content. So they're like, we don't need a con. We got our own stuff. We got our own verticals. We got Star Wars. We got Marvel. We got DC. I mean, not DC. We got Pixar. We got animation. We got Disney Studios. So they dropped plus.
All right, so we
and by the way, we are down with Disney
Fandom. Sorry, D23. Ready?
By the way, we are Disney. We have our stuff in with Disney.
Stop it.
Okay, so let's go with it. Don't like the retro intro at all.
This is probably going to get a copyright strike.
This Halloween, you can't escape the shock, the terror of Werewolf by Night.
Tonight, it is every hunter for themselves.
Good luck. I'll be rotting for you.
But one of you is a monster, masquerading as one of our own. I can't wait to find out what breed of evil you are. You wanna see this, darling?
Please don't do this. Death is coming for you! Werewolf by Night.
Behind you. Oh, it is clearly a Disney Plus thing. I mean, it is camp as there can be. First of all, we never saw the werewolf. Did anybody see the werewolf?
So the arm.
We saw the arm. Cal, did you see anything?
No, they never showed him.
That's exactly what I said. So I mean, look, this is like throwing back to like the old 50s, 60s camp movies that they're bringing out. Trying to be. Of course, they're trying to do it for Halloween, which of course Disney is always. Excuse me, Marvel, in their great wisdom is trying to capture that Halloween market now, as we can see. Which is a great idea. But this is definitely. I don't know if it's scary, but it seems much more campy, more humorous than I would have thought. I'm laughing at it just looking at what's going on.
Wow.
What's your take on it, Cal? You agree? Yes, I agree with you too. Petey, what's rocking with you? What are you saying?
Cal?
He stole my line.
Okay.
I stole your line. What line was that? I think we lost Cal again.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
What are you saying?
Here is it seems like they're trying to do the B movie, but the Grindhouse version of it. So it's all bad effects and all that stuff. But I mean, the tone of it is trying to be serious at points, but then it goes into the Tales from the Crypt type of thing, the TV show, and just using if you see a lot of the they're trying to put it all in one ball of wax. Like the people who were making those movies thought they were actually, not as bad as Ed Wood, but they thought they were putting something together. But it looks interesting enough. I'm not sure which characters that we can call on here because it looks like they're trying to go their own way with it, but we shall see.
I mean, but look, I'm with you 100% with that. But do you think that was the intention with Disney to make it? Well, first of all, do you think those artists in the past were actually doing something? Really, they didn't realize it was being a little campy. Do you think they really took it seriously?
The comic book?
No, not the comic, but the movies that is this particular Werewolf by Night.
Like Vincent Price,
Yeah,
any of those say, yeah, no, they were just trying to make a movie. They weren't trying to make a. We look at it and we fall out of our seats watching that stuff, but they were just
Yeah.
making movies.
It's like,
well,
wasn't it? It's like Hugh Hefner and the boys watching the Batman serials at the Playboy Mansion. And, all they did was gig on it, but they weren't the intended audience. It was kids who were the intended audience.
right. So I mean, that's why I thought it was campy. I never thought they took themselves seriously. Vincent Price, you saw Vincent Price and you're like, oh, you started giggling because you knew what was
Did you
coming.
start giggling? Didn't Michael Jackson use him to be the horror for Thriller? It wasn't to make it campy because he was doing the zombies. He was doing zombies similar to George A. Romero. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't any, yeah, but it had Vincent Price's voice in the video.
and
And
Vincent Price
so it
and
was,
Vincent Price was the iconic voice for all those horror movies. I mean, he did at least 3 Edgar Allan Poe shorts, and all of those are classics.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that you saw Edgar, you heard Vincent Price, and I loved him. And I'm saying, but you knew like, oh, this is going to be a B movie. It wasn't going to be like a
No, no,
serious.
no, no. That's in retrospect. Okay, none of those movies. Those movies were designed, okay, for a particular audience with a certain budget and to accomplish a particular thing. They were not going to be Oscar-winning movies. They didn't have money to do high-grade costuming or anything of that nature. That was the horror genre. Same with the science fiction stuff. There's a lot of people who love Dune, and that first movie is so over the top in terms of a lot of the elements, in terms of the sci-fi and the story. Today you would look at it and say, what the heck were you thinking? But that fell right in line with how you did a science fiction movie for the most part. I mean, unfortunately, the approach to a lot of this type of stuff with fantasy, science fiction early on was that we can't really accomplish it. So we'll try to do some humor with the whole thing so people don't take it too seriously and see how bad it is. And that permeated, unfortunately, with a lot of the films and TV shows that we would want to call campy or B movies, that type of stuff. But that wasn't the Vincent Price stuff at the end of the day. Any of those, what was that show? Well, Elvira had one, but there was some other guy too, but I can't remember. But those cats over there, they would host these shows, and they had the horror shows, with the werewolf, the vampire, and so on and so forth. And if you look at the stories were good. Okay, but you didn't have the budget for these guys to come across, as maybe really, 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 really scary to people who had a more discerning eye. That was just the way it was.
Well,
Today, you can make much better stuff.
I mean, you had what Tales from the Crypt. You took that as a serious thing. You didn't
no,
think
I
that.
was saying that's the tone they're doing. But I think if you look at like say the Fly, the original Fly,
Right.
it's very serious. But if you look at it now, you kind of look at that. Some of the effects for the transformation is kind of funky, that sort of thing. Whereas the tone is just straight serious. But you put it in front of you put that the Loch Ness was it the Loch Ness monster? Like all of those type of things are gonna look real cheesy and silly to the younger audience, and
Well,
gonna
you
take
take
a long time to kind of get through it. So
with the effects we have today, if you take anything that required suspension of disbelief and a healthy dose of imagination for you to immerse yourself into the story today, when people are like, oh no, you need to really create this stuff, CGI, really make it look nice. Yeah, it's an uphill climb for them. They don't have to think or imagine anything. You're supposed to display it all.
Interesting.
well,
Yeah,
I think.
Jensen, before we get into that, I
Sorry.
wanted to just give the audience a little bit. One of you guys can give a background on who Werewolf by Night is, and I know we've talked about him before with the whole Moon Knight thing in the Moon Knight series. Can someone like at least give a brief intro on Werewolf by Night?
Cal, you talked about it before.
Werewolf by Night, one of my favorite comics growing up, as I'm a very big fan of werewolves, is Jack Russell. Jack Russell is cursed. His family line actually is cursed. His sister becomes a werewolf a little bit later, but initially it's just Jack, and he is cursed to become a werewolf whenever the full moon comes out. So we get the entire series, which runs about, I think it ran about 40 some odd issues. where Jack deals with the fact of him being a werewolf and trying to cure himself of the curse, and pretty much not being too successful at the end of the day.
Who was the guy who started? Who was the writer for this? Conway?
George, no, I think Mensch was the writer.
Or Thomas? Roy Thomas?
No, Doug Mensch.
Doug Mensch. Okay, cool. So getting back to this, what do you guys think about the whole great?
No. Doug Mensch is the other guy. You're right. Jerry Conway. Yeah, Jerry Conway, Roy Thomas. I think they were the writers on those were the guys who wrote at least the initial series. Those guys did it. Mensch may have come in later.
Oh, you're saying then it was a tryout book for Mensch then, where he basically made his bones, and then they gave him basically everything: Thor, Fantastic Four, that sort of thing. But it'd be like some kind of Marvel starter book for like stuff like Iron Fist, all of that stuff. But yeah, all those things would kind of go with horror craze for Marvel. Like just like the karate phase. So you got stuff that was going on that kind of hit a niche market.
So two questions, guys. What do you think about this Marvel going? First of all, Marvel going into the horror genre. We've seen the kind of Moon Knight that you have something going on there. Now you have Werewolf by Night. Are we going to get what is it? Midnight Suns. What do you think about that?
It sounds like more of the same, where they're just trying to grab as much real estate as they can in terms of all these different genres and characters. Look, we're going to put out all these different types of superheroes. Now we're going to go for the genres. We got the horror here, and we got the comedy here. We got, slapstick is still a part of comedy. We're going to have the drama. Okay. We're going to have everything. Nobody's beating us to any of this stuff. At least that's what what phase are they now in? Phase 4? Is it still phase 4 or phase 5? Whatever it is. That's pretty much what the whole thing has been. We're just putting flags in. We're just putting flags in the ground and claiming as much territory as possible before we start losing. Faith with people, and we have to start storytelling again.
What about you, PD? Any thoughts on that?
Hey, what was the question again?
I said, how do you think about this whole turn that Marvel's doing with the Halloween characters? This Werewolf by Night. Are they going to be? What do you think? You think
it's a big market for Disney to try to get some Marvel stuff in there. I think I was when I first was watching it, I kind of watched it as I did as a kid, because the only thing that I used to find funny was Abbott and Costello meets the werewolf, those type of things. But this
campy,
it was in
campy.
That, huh?
Campy.
Abbott Costello are humorous characters, so it's obviously that. But other time when I watched the werewolf or Dracula or the Frankenstein, and even the other stuff at that period with the black and white stuff, all that stuff was kind of serious to me. Only thing that really stuck out when I first watched it was the thing which with that's like the Crypt Keeper, which is kind of when they did the Crypt Keeper on HBO, it wasn't kind of do heavy graphics. It was just trying to be something that was kind of there, and just have fun with it. So that's something that was red campy. Now watching it again, it just like the effects, all that stuff was just blaring at me. But I was kind of able to watch it as a kid because the woman that's in there, she was really straight the entire time. Everybody else was kind of hokey, so I kind of stuck with her. So I think it's good to try to do this stuff. I was kind of thinking they would stay straight with it as much as they can, but I think they just keep looking at this stuff and saying, was it the Bill Dozer? Like, how do I translate this Batman to TV? I gotta make it campy, and and the kids just look past the camp, as Cal was saying, and enjoy it. But it's like I just I'm liking this, but I'm just hoping that this isn't just every time they do stuff, it's just kind of a nod to some sort of technique or period to kind of make fun of, and then the people just look at it like, hey, they're doing 70s TV. Oh, they're doing 50s B movie. Oh, they're doing this like it's some sort of homage instead of us watching content. So we need to see what's going to happen every minute of every 5 minutes of film, something to kind of connect us. Because it's like if you're watching Black Dynamite, yes, we get it. Black Dynamite is making fun of the black exploitation, but I don't want to get them trying to do a spoof of everything or sort of a revision thing of everything. Like you're at the beginning of this whole thing is just at the infancy, and you've had successful movies that started out. It's like the opposite of like Tyler Perry, right? So it started out with the Iron Mans, the classic stuff, and it's kind of getting thinner and thinner as it goes along, trying to find hooks or something. It's like it's like the pretty girl trying to find a hook for herself. Like, what? I need a hat. I need a certain kind of shoes, rather than saying, it's already there. Werewolf by Night, Marvel's there. That's what I'm saying. The same thing I think we talked about the Rawhide Kid. Like, go back to those old stories, and where Larry Lieber was trying to just do a straight western. What they kind of, if they got their hands on it, they immediately say, "Hey, wasn't that kind of a gig icon in the 2000s? Why can't we do that instead of doing stuff like that? Just play it straight first. And when you run out of ideas, that's when you go camp. That's when you go Zorro the Gay Blade type of deal. Like, you don't need to immediately go there. They're kind of, this is new TV, and they're kind of like, we're grasping at straws here. What can we make of this stuff? Oh, this is gonna be a homage to all the B movies, the monsters and the weird effects and all that. So, because I really looked at it when I first saw it, and I really was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. I was able to look past it, but in the second watching, I'm just like, I hope it's not going to be having a false frame, a bad editing type of deal. It's like, no, like, you don't need to do that. Like, just do a straight story, because the lead seems like she's going, playing it straight, and if they have her kind of doing some hokey stuff in there, I'm probably going to be out of it. I mean, I'm a fan of the actress, but I would just hope that it isn't, they don't go too far with it. But yeah, that's all. That's all I gotta say. I'm worried, but it looks okay.
Did you guys see any type of Easter eggs or anything in there that told you what's Marvel's gonna probably bring in? I mean, we would think that if there's Werewolf by Night, there's gonna probably be Blade. There's possibly gonna be who else could be Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider. I mean, I didn't see that. That's what I was looking for. Midnight Suns, possibly. I know
Will
that
you stop saying the Midnight Suns? That
hey,
ship
they
sailed.
just dropped a trailer for the game.
It sailed. They ruined it. What's the name? David Goyer killed that. Who's this? This your Blade? We know that's not Blade, right? Who is any of these guys?
I don't know who any of those guys are. Keep going.
That I believe that's the super team known as Fodder.
I'm not. Wow.
You're crazy.
Look, I'm a big fan of werewolves, so I'm going to watch this just because I like werewolves. That's it. I sincerely doubt it will hold any of the weight of the Werewolf by Night series that I enjoyed reading as a kid. So we'll hopefully it's enjoyable. That's all I can say. It's not a series. It's it's just a one-shot special for Halloween. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm not averse to. I think Marvel is starting to receive some undue criticism in terms of things being light or
Hold
funny,
on.
and then
Is that the TVA? Go rewind that.
Who's coming?
Well, is that the TVA we just saw?
who cares?
Then this may feed into Kang and Loki. That's
Oh Lord, you're gonna start nerding out now? Who cares?
Wait.
oh,
We've
my.
already seen
There
the
you
TVA.
go.
Was
You
that
wanna
the man
know?
thing?
Yeah, the man thing. You saw it, right?
Yeah. Holy crust.
Oh, the man thing, that's different. Oh, cool.
Wow. Wait a second. Hold the presses.
Go ahead.
No way.
Go ahead, Petey. Say it. Say it.
Whoever knows fear burns at the man thing's touch.
Damn right.
Oh my goodness, this is look at them doing it. This is if Marvel. I heard I don't think that Marvel's gonna do it right because did one of you guys tell me that Iron Fist is Asian? But I
Says
wish
that.
they would get to the dialogue that was in that. Thing. You are Iron Fist. Like this is going back to actually having a scene. And the Man Thing is such a great character because it's such a ridiculous character of a character that could possibly change back to human, just doesn't know it. It's just such a fun character.
Head
And
south.
for
Seeking
the
to preserve the secrets of the super soldier serum, injects himself as he flees away from those who would steal it. Unfortunately, his automobile crashes into the nexus of realities within a swamp, unbeknownst to him. Now he is the protector of the nexus of realities. He is the Man Thing, and whatever knows fear burns at the Man Thing's touch. Coming soon.
what did they say about the super soldier serum?
Yeah,
Ted Salas?
No, no, not that. You said the super. That's he's a super. They had a super soldier serum connected to the Man Thing.
Yeah, he injects himself. I don't know
Wow.
if that was a retcon, but he's trying to get. He has like this super soldier serum that he's working on because at that point they were hadn't been replicated, and so they were like, okay, we think we got a working replication. These cats were trying to steal it from him. He had the whole thing. He had a honeypot trap. The chick was set him up, so he's out. He's getting away, and he takes a tumble. He injected himself with the super soldier serum to protect it, so they wouldn't get it, regardless of whether they caught him or not.
I mean, if Steve Gerber went that far to really screw, to do something like that, kudos to him if he put that in there, saying this is what happens to you, trying to recreate it. But I was trying to see who that was. That
It was
oh,
good till the '90s. Then they didn't care. They was like, you know what? No formula stays secret forever.
she's a werewolf with the face. It's gonna be just like. Well, okay. What did you think of Wolf, the movie Wolf, Cal?
Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I like that. That was cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I had fun with that one too.
I didn't like it at all. I was totally disappointed.
No, and what's the name? Michelle Pfeiffer at the end, she steals like every movie she's in. And she like has all she's extra makeup on and whatnot. I'm just like, yo, she's going for it right now. Like,
Jack Nicholson. What I liked is Jack Nicholson didn't phone. He did not phone in the role.
yes.
Dennis Spader. He loves doing characters that are offbeat, so he was happy. And Michelle Pfeiffer, Stone Cold Fox. And she always delivers. So there you go.
Wow. All right. So I mean, we just had, after I was a little down about the campiness, we get a little serious stuff with the Man Thing because
Oh, you kidding me? They could make that the worst. They
we
could make
can't
that.
speak. We can't speak outside of the silliness of him not understanding that he could cure himself.
No, they could.
Yes,
I can already see. I
yes.
can already see them doing something like him making himself afraid and lighting himself on fire, some nonsense like that.
Why is the
Oh,
Man Thing a big thing for
sorry.
you guys? Say
Huh?
why the Man Thing is a big thing for you guys, so the audience knows.
He's just cool. There's a
Well,
classic stuff by Steve Gerber, but then he
if
just
you see
started
the
showing up in Marvel books all the time. He was just a
if you
great
see the
character.
Man Thing in there, one of the reasons why I would perk up a bit more, if you see the Man Thing in there, it means maybe they're taking it a little bit more seriously, because that's like a major Marvel horror character, along with Werewolf. I mean, I didn't think Morbius was a terrible movie. It was just slow at the end of the day to be sitting in the theater. But
Mm-hmm.
you have Morbius, Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night, Man Thing, Satana, Damien Hellstrom. All those guys are pretty much your horror characters to come. I think most of them, if not all of them, come out during the '70s. So if you're paying attention to the Man Thing, because what was it, the macabre Man Thing?
Yeah.
Then okay, you might actually want to do a good job here, because that is one of the staples of Marvel horror. Otherwise, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know they can camp that up. I mean, they had the Wrecking Crew. Oh, Lord. So these guys can come over. These guys can come over here and just really cut you out from under if they want to. But hope springs eternal, right?
Yes.
I mean,
All right.
I don't care about the TVA or Kang. Go geek out on that on your own time. This is supposed to be straight horror. You're doing that, we're good. Oh, the Midnight Suns blew it.
Yeah. So listen, Petey, anything you want to say before you wrap this up?
no, I think I'm there. I think I'm a little bright. I'm feeling a little better about it. post seeing the Man Thing and doing a classic Man Thing scene.
I'm glad we got that on video. Petey's disposition changed 100%. He's like, oh wait, hold on, Man Thing. Oh
no, Mars saw it too. Mars.
I was looking at the TVA, but you guys totally ignored that portion.
But you looked at the Man Thing. Think of the important
no,
part.
he wants to go geek out with the TVA and Loki and Kang and alternate realities. That's where he was at. This is horror.
All right, hey. So hey, thank you guys for joining us. Just want to say once again, come back, subscribe, comment, give us a thumbs up. Spin rack.
Wait a second before we go out. I'll just say the one thing I know they're gonna do is say giant size Man Thing. That's not a curse. They're gonna say that in this thing. So I'm getting that off the table. Spin rack out.
Out.